The reason there is no good more good, I mean, the reason there is no more good music, the reason there isn't even a style, and that all rock music is basically either pretentious or dead, is because everything has become commercialized. It's all about commercialism, if that's even a word. And without any real style, it all becomes commercial, and vice versa. So, what Jesse Friday is all about, is going beyond the commercialism that took over somewhere in the late 90s. Jesse has his own views on why commercialism took over and why everything has been watered down to sex and drugs and no room for rock and roll. Jesse feels it has a lot to do with technology and many other things. And really, it's all of those things that Jesse sort of speaks out about to create to weave into more important views. Jesse Friday sort of came out onto the scene saying, "Yeah, I'm commercial," faking the industry out, opposed to having this amazing talent, the perfect recipe to make into a product. Jesse sort of faked out the music industry, both with his image and with his music. He went beyond the beyond. He faked everyone out that he was some sort of commercial act. His music had a commercial sound because it took that fake pop sound and actually made something unique with these fake sounds. That's why Jesse sort of represents this new movement, which is called the anti-pop star. And to be an anti-pop star, you basically have to look, dress, and act like a pop star, but in a sort of extreme, radical way. So Jesse is a work of art, really. He is a pop art painting, so to speak. That is a huge part of his message that weaves into much more important messages about opinions to get people thinking, like I just said, sort of. But all of this at the same time, it's only half of Jesse. Jesse is very much himself. He still dresses crazy like he always did. A hardcore punk, sort of a freak character. Nothing new. And he also writes personal songs as well as making people think. You know, with what, you know, what makes Jesse stand out is that he goes about being a popular musician in a different way. Like everything he does is art. Like everything, to the installations that he uses for his concerts, to the imagery he makes, and that's what makes his music great. He has so many elements, to new age, to power pop, to future pop, to punk rock, to the list goes on and on. I don't have it written down right now, but it makes that's what makes him an icon. He literally puts all his forms of art in everything he does, while at the same time he claims not to be an artist, because really everybody today is an artist. That is sort of the way of how the anti-pop star talks. Jesse was able to take this commercialism or whatever, that made even great talented musicians. Jesse was able to take this sort of commercial style that made even really great talented musicians into products. Jesse was able to say, to be real, you have to go straight into the commercialism. You can't just try to do something different. You have to sort of go straight for the heart of it all. Just go into the fakeness and shake it up and just sort of amplify it all. And that's what he did with his music, as well as his whole act. I mean, his main thing is his crazy, unique sound he has. He had to add all these other things, the singing, the dancing, in a sense, sort of the satire of a person in showbiz, pretending he could do it all by coming up with his own silly signature dance move, by standing out with his scat singing, saxophone playing, DJing, etc., and his amazing, unique shows he puts on. Like I said, everything he does is art. His whole Tesla coil playing he does on stage, which is a part of his sound, it also becomes a part of his image. His whole dark cabaret, his unique world sound to his indie pop sound that sort of strips him down and makes his music sound very raw and real, while at the same time very diverse and crazy. There's something very punk rock about this ethic that Jesse believes in and has helped create a new wave of punk rock music. It's very DIY. Jesse helped create this sort of art music movement. For example, in the beginning, he called his band the Jesse Friday Project because it wasn't just a band, it was a social media type art movement where really anyone can be involved. This network of people created an art scene and music scene off of an idea of a blank page, and that helped create a sort of a scene within other scenes that were happening in the mid 2000s. Jesse knew one thing. He was not going to be a product, but he was not going to be turned into one. He was his own product and faked them all out. And he had enough money. He got his own record label, so nobody could pigeonhole him. In the beginning, Jesse's way of manipulating the industry was by not sticking to one record label, but constantly switching record labels and fucking with people, making tons of EPs, showing the record producers type people his music, and some of it was very pop sounding as a way to trick them. And then when Jesse showed them his more creative stuff, and they said no, see, that was the whole idea about creating a bunch of EPs. It was to get out as much unique music as possible, as much as the industry allowed him. See, Jesse knew what he was doing and read up on the music industry and basically tried to manipulate them and bring good music back. Rock music, you know? The same way he literally manipulated pop music to come up with his great new sound that has inspired a new generation.